And here we are, folks. Basically, I think, final build I'll be going for the Android deck list. I think this deck is super interesting, probably the most interesting deck in the set, I would say, personally. I love androids, I love 1718, and the second I saw this leader, I knew I would do anything in my power to make it work. I feel like this is roughly as close as I can get it to being the best it can possibly be. So let's go over some stuff. Let's get out of this view, because we can't do anything with the cards in this view for some reason. Let's go into edit. So, starting off, we have our leader. Of course, the generic draw one card when attacking, 4 or less life, flip it over, awaken. And then we have the awaken side. This is where I think this leader shines a lot more than Gohan and Broly. But we'll get into why I think the leader itself is a bit weaker in a minute. So if you have 6 or more cards, no, that's it, 6 or more energy, this card gets 10k power. I think that is a ridiculously good buff on your turn. So essentially, whenever you're awakening, you are going to be 30k swinging. That's better than Broly by base, that's better than any other leader in the game. So you're automatically applying a lot of pressure to them, and they need, a lot of the leaders in this game need to combo at least more than 10k to get out of the damage, which is huge for you putting no cards into that combo. And the usual when attacking draw. But then into the actual list, we have our first card here. We have 4 copies of Android 20. Look at top 5 cards from top of your deck, reveal 1, 17 or 18, add it to your hand and then place it bottom of the deck in random order. Generic Searcher. This searches your boss monsters, it searches your 2-drop, it searches a lot of 17s. I don't like it that much though, because of it bottom decks Jiro's Lab. Jiro's Lab is this deck's win condition, essentially. You need to see that card, or your ramp isn't going to be particularly amazing. Whereas decks like Broly and Gohan can just play their game and ramp when and if they need to. With this deck, it's a little bit harder to do that. And then we're on to 4 copies of Goku, draw 1, self-explanatory really. Then we get into the actual Android cards. First one here is the 2-drop 17, we have 15k critical. Not amazing, not terrible at the same time. The main reason this card could be the 2-drop Android 19 as well. That gains so much power if you get 6 or more energy. The reason I don't run the 19 is simply because it's not searchable. One thing I really like late game is having the ability to play multiple 20s if I need to, just to find stuff like 10k combos to survive some turns if I need to. But yeah, early game this card is pretty good. It's a 15k crit, so you're pressuring a lot into your opponent pretty early. And then into the actual good 2-drop you want to see, we have the Android 18. On play, draw 1 card, then discard a card from your hand. Already insane. We want cards in our drop. We want specific cards in our drop, we don't want cards in hand, all that good stuff. And then if you get 6 more energy, draw a card. This comes up really, really handy late game. If you're late game and you really need to dig for your Brolys or your 1718s or just, again, combo power to survive, this card is insane at doing that for you. And then we move on to the 3-drop 17. Basic vanilla. It's a vanilla 25k beat stick, 10k combo. Main reason we run this, 25k is an insane number on 3-drop. Really fucking good. And 25k means we can hit into Broly while he's awakened in full on pressure hit, which is huge. Then we move on to 2 copies of this Dr. Gero. You might be thinking, why only 2 copies? Because this is our only lab searcher in the entire deck. The main reason for that is when you use this card to search, you're searching the top 10, which in theory sounds incredible. You think, oh wow, I'll never whiff. Trust me, you whiff nearly every time with this. I hated it every time I played it. Nearly every time I was bottom decking all of my Broly's, all of my 17, 18s, all of my top end that I desperately needed to win the game was gone from the game completely, essentially. So I run this at 2 for emergency situations and the fact he's a 10k combo. No other reason. This is not my main way to find lab. Essentially, the way I've built this deck is if I find lab by turn 3, cool. If I don't, I have some backup plans to where I can still play the game and hope that I eventually draw into lab in this situation where I can play. I think hard focusing on just finding lab is a mistake. You're going to just suffer if you do that method. Then moving on, we're on to our only Self-Awakener in the deck. We're running 4 copies of this Android 17. Realistically, you're not going to be using this to Self-Awaken unless you desperately need to. What you're using this for is, for late game, you free play this 18 from drop, which is incredible value. So late game, if you're at like 10 energy, you can drop one of these and one of these, which also drops one of these. So now you've got multiple bodies on board pressuring for game, all at least 20k. Incredible card. Only downside, 5k combo power, which is a bit shit, but we've got plenty of 10ks in the deck to make up for that now. Moving on to our not Android card is Vegeta. This card is incredible, like absolutely just stupidly good. So on play, add 1 card with a cost of 3 or more from your drop to your energy in rest mode. The fact it's in rest mode doesn't matter. The way Vegeta works in Android is if you have lab out on turn 3, you can't use it that turn, right? You've played it, it's okay. You wait for next turn. On your turn 4, what you can do is then charge phase and go up to 5. Cool. Oh, sorry, on your turn 4, charge phase up to 4. Cool. Then you use lab, put an android from drop into energy in rest mode, or not active, but you rest 1. So you're at the same number of active, but then you're at 5 total. Then you play Vegeta, and then you're up to 6 total. On your 4th turn, you're up to 6 total energy, which is insane value because 6 is the magic number for this deck, because when you awaken, you're just beefy. You can drop your smaller boss monster in 17, 18, threaten Gohan next turn, which we'll get into, and then you're really close to threatening Broly, which is the huge threat for any green deck, because Broly, we'll get to Broly. If you don't know what Broly does at this point, I don't know what rock you've been living under, but we'll get there. So 17, 18, we have 3 copies, it's just 2 different arts, because this set is weird. So double strike, on play, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with cost of 3 or less and KO them. This really helps in Cielo, because they'll have a lot of like low cost blockers just sitting, chilling. You can just pop them right away, it doesn't matter, you don't interact with them. But pretty generic, just double strike, 40k, really good card, really good card. Gohan. Now this card, I'd constantly keep cutting this card and then putting it back in. I can never decide if it's actually worth running or not. Currently I have it as a one-off, because I don't think this deck needs more than that, or you're just asking to brick. So on play, discard 1 card in your hand, choose all of your opponent's battle cards that cost 5 or less and KO them, and then this card can attack for the turn, but we don't really care about the can attack part. We run this for the board player. If you're in a really bad situation where your opponent has like 4 or 5 bodies on board and you're like, right, we need to just get rid of these. That's when you drop this Rohan. I don't think you drop it any other time. Unless it's like your only real boss monster that's in your hand, then maybe. But other than that, absolutely don't. I would just charge it. If you're playing against green, 100% just charge this card away. Don't even think about ever playing it. Because green stuff is going to be higher than 5 cost, and it's just going to sit there and do nothing. Then we're on to 4 super combos, because if you're not running 4 super combos, you're just wrong, I think. Then we're on to 4 of the big man Broly. Again, if you don't know what this card does, on play, draw a card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it. No cost restriction. Just anything they have on the board, gone. That's it. And then, when attacking, once per turn switch this card to active mode, so you essentially get 2 45k base swings. This card is just ridiculous. I don't understand how they even printed this card and didn't see it as a massive problem. I don't get it. Multiple colours just can't remove it. They can't interact with it at all, and it's just going to sit there and just threaten lethal basically every turn once it hits the board. Then we're on into our extra cards. We're on 4 Gigantic Meteor. Again, ridiculously good card. Basically, whenever we want to use it, it's always a plus 25k, either defensively or offensively. I tend to use it more defensively than I do offensively, just because I feel like it better suits that situation. That's just my take on it. And then our last card in the deck, we have 4 copies of Jiro's Lab. This is absolutely your win condition for droids. If we can zoom in on the card here, okay. So, field, you can't interact with field cards yet. There's nothing in the game that interacts with them, so once this is on board, it's on board, cool, you're good to go. Any other copies you see, discard or charge them. That's it. It's just fodder at that point. So activate main, switch this card to rest mode. If your leader is 17, add up to 1 card with Android, the special traits from your drop to your energy. Huge. I think this is the best ramp in the entire game, because you can activate it every single turn without fail. Well, it can fail, but it really shouldn't be failing. So just every turn you can combo an Android away, you can just combo an Android away or let one die. Just as long as you have an Android in your drop, you're fine, you're good. You're swimming. You're essentially going to get 2 energy every turn, which I think is ridiculously good. Yeah, that is the deck list. We're now going to hop into a match and hopefully show off how the deck works. I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so match wise we couldn't really get one that wasn't someone AFK'd for God knows how long, so we're in a replay. Hopefully I remember ins and outs of what happens and we can go over it. It is a slightly outdated build, as you can see by the brother-sister combination in hand. I basically cut those for another copy of Broly and something else, I can't remember what. But it's the exact same concept. So we're going to go through the basic first few turns here. I'm hunting for Lahab. He's probably just taking damage so he can awaken. So we're going to play the Goku, obviously, draw a card, didn't hit Lab. Cool. Our hand isn't terrible for the situation. We notice he does charge a Broly here. A turn 2 Broly charge against a green deck is huge, because that tells me you now have one less Broly. Like, there's just another Broly that's gone from the game. The reason we combo here, by the way, is we don't want to awaken until our game plan is set up. And currently our game plan is not set up in the slightest. We are missing Lab, and hard, we are missing Lab. I think here we decide to go for the 18. Oh no, we go for another Goku. Okay. And then we draw the Lab. So now we're good. Now we could just pass. Next turn we can play Lab. We can set up Vegeta. We're good. We're sorted. So he's going to keep searching. He's going to find his Destructive Strength, which he can now play next turn, which is also gets his ramp started. But the way we're sitting, we're pretty good. We're good to not take this damage though. We're okay. We're at the point where we've still got a decent hand size, we have enough ready to go. I'm unsure why I charged the 18 here, I will say that. I don't know why I've done that. We've now charged away comboed away an Android card there, I believe, so that we have Lab set up, so that we can play Lab this turn, get rid of the energy marker, because that doesn't count towards your 6 energy when you're awakened, and then put the 18 into the energy, so we'll get rid of 2 18s. Not my smartest play, I think, but we should be okay. So he's now at 5, which is not a good outlook for us, but we're going to take the hit here, just so get more cards in hand. We're okay for life. Instantly charge that Lab. We don't care about it anymore. Get more swings in. We charge away a 3-drop here, I believe, so that we can set up for Vegeta. He goes down to 5 life, that's fine. I believe we use Lab here first, so that we still have enough energy for Vegeta, and we're already at 6 energy. Then when we play Vegeta, we missed it. That's what happened, okay. So that was a little bit of a whiff. Not the best, but the idea was there. If we had sequenced correctly, that we would have been at 7 energy this turn. So does he, but we would have hit there first, which means our Broly comes out first. And he does his big mine attack, that's whatever. He's now lost an energy, but then his Goku. Ridiculous card, by the way. I really wish I could run that Goku and Androids, but there's no reason to. You're never dropping energy. And then we find another Vegeta. Solid, because now we can play Vegeta and put Vegeta in our drop. Sorted. Not Vegeta in drop, Vegeta in energy. That's what I want to say. So now we're at the point, we're just kind of swinging back and forth, see who will end up awakening first. Play the Vegeta. We had the Vegeta that was killed last turn. We're at 8 energy, Broly set up. We're good to go. And then we do the Vegeta effect, discard a card, kill off the Trunks, just get it gone. We don't want to deal with that being around. And then we Lab, go up to 9 energy. So we've got a really high energy count already. Essentially we never need to charge from hand again. I can't remember if we do or not, but we really don't have to. Now from here he's also going to go to 8, and he's charged a second Broly. Again, that really shows me my Broly is so much safer to play out now, it's kind of ridiculous. Like he plays his, okay, I'm at 6 life. You kill Vegeta. What does that really do for you here? Like, I'm going to take these hits. I can awaken now, I'll be fine. I'll be completely fine taking these. Again, Goku, ridiculous. Such a ridiculous card. Take that, go down, and then there's like no reason for us not to take this hit here. Get more 10Ks in hand, and then I think here we awaken. I cannot remember if we take the hit here or not though. Now we've got our second Broly in hand. We're in a really, really good position now. Because this is their third Broly. Okay, we Meteor out of this, that's fine. So Meteor puts us to 45, and then we just combo a 5K, I believe. Yep, just combo the Goku away, who cares. Now we're in a really good position where, okay, we Lab first. Why not? Again, we're at 11 energy now. Swing in with the 30k, see if he does anything about it. Yep, he does. He decides to activate his effect, which keeps him at 8 energy because Goku. And then blocks it, that's fine, that effect is now gone for the turn. We play our Broly. Kill his Broly. Right away. Don't even think about it, just get it gone. And then immediately start swinging in. There's no reason not to. Again, there is a very, very small chance he actually has a Broly. Because he's used 3. 2 are wearing energy, and he's played 1. If he has a 4th, maybe a little bit of a different, but we can probably combo out whatever damage he tries to throw at us. Because of the amount of Tenkis, we've got Brother Sister, we have Super Combo. So he takes a second hit, that's fine, we just pass here, we'll get 2 open energy. Again, we can be threatening Meteor, we can be threatening Brother Sister. He then Destructive Strengths twice. And this is where I start getting confused and just... At this point I've won, in my mind. Like, I don't think there's a world here where he wins this. He's nearly decked himself out as well. My camera's kind of covering up, but he's at 10 cards left in deck. 9. He's at 9 cards left in deck. So he goes up to 50. He's at 8 cards left in deck now. And he just keeps going. Because he really wants rid of this Broly, I'm assuming. And he keeps going. And at this point he's hand up to 10k. 11k. And we decide, you know what, we can combo out. And he's just wasted his hand. So we combo out here. What's he got left? Genuinely, he has nothing left. So we passed turn. Could have done with the 18, got a free draw, but you know. Swings and roundabouts, I guess. So we don't charge anything from hand, we just go in, swing the 30, he activates his effect, who cares? Goes down to 7 cards in deck. We could try and deck him out honestly if we wanted to, but I think we just play the Broly and put him out of his misery. Goes down to 2 life, and then play our Broly so that we can pop this Goku just for vengeance. Well, we end up drawing a lab, which is not really what we want to see, but that's okay. We'll then swing in with the Broly, and then we'll still get 2 active swings, so we swing in with the Broly, don't combo, he was forced to hand dump. Goes up to 50, and then we just hand dump on the last Broly. GG. Oh, we also do this, okay. Just so we can end it with 17. Drop 17, combo up, we still have the 45k on the Broly if we need it, but we don't. And while the opponent's play wasn't perfect, it was a little shaky, some really weird decisions, I feel like that's a decent enough showcase with the commentary over it on how this deck should be running. And I hope you all enjoyed, and I will catch you around next time.